Hi everyone, how are you? I wanted to come on and discuss a very important bill. Um, Meg Froelich Froelich, I think that's her name. Okay, she sponsored the abortion bill, and I know I don't want to get into issues, and it's a very hot issue. I'm a female, and I believe we women should be discussing it with each other. But we should be discussing this issue as constitutionalists who are thinkers and who are independent thinkers and not free thinkers. Let me let you in on a little secret. Free thinkers are like my cat and dog. They are free thinkers. They just move about the house and they don't think about their every action. They just do. But here, we humans are different than a dog and a cat. We actually can reason, and that's what sets us apart from other animals. We have reasoning skills, and we can reason through our emotions. We can validate whether our emotions are sound by our reasoning skills. Animals like cats and dogs cannot reason. They're creatures of habit, and they just do whatever God has given them to do for survival. Like my cat, for instance, right now she's at the window and he is looking at a squirrel. And his tail is wagging back and forth. He's really excited. He wants to go and pounce on that squirrel. We reason and we think about it. And we're like, that doesn't look too much fun. So we can actually think our way through and reason through our actions, and we have free will that God gives us to do the right thing or the wrong thing. Cats and animals can't. A ferocious lion, for example, they will attack. They can't reason what's good or bad. They can't say, well, I can't kill a human being. We can. We have feelings. We have emotions, yes. And we have to reason through those emotions and balance our emotions with our logic and our heart. And weigh and balance different emotions and determine whether that emotion is valid. And yes, we can be hurt. Our feelings can be hurt by the words that people say. But we can reason. We're not animals like cats and dogs who just live by whatever their instinct is. We can reason through certain instincts and say that we shouldn't kill another human being. We shouldn't eat another human being. I read this book called The Spelunky and Explorer when I was in college. And it was about 6 justices who were determining the fate of an explorer who was trapped in a cave for weeks, and he ate a human. And so they were discussing whether he committed a crime. And so in our society, we have laws that we abide by. And so this abortion law, when I weigh and balance the interests in the Constitution, in the 14th Amendment of life, liberty, or property, and equal protection and due process, the bill is sort of lopsided, and it doesn't even weigh the property interest or the life interest. Yes, we all are given free will, and we have freedom to choose whether to abort or raise our children and at what time. However, we are also free to be promiscuous and go around like animals, having sex with the doorknob. Is it right? Have we thought about the consequences of having sex with different people? Different men, different women? Have we thought about the consequences that maybe if we have sex, we can get AIDS? Have we thought about the consequences of if we have sex, we could get pregnant? Am I ready to get pregnant? Am I ready to have a family? Those are things that you got to think about and weigh before you act. We're not animals. We're thinking independent thinkers. We're going to naturally gravitate to thinking. We're human. God gave us free will to pick good and evil. And this bill is evil because our legislators, who are thinkers, did not weigh and balance the life interest inside the mom after she thought about having sex and got pregnant. Oh, whoops! Surprise! I got pregnant. Now what do I do? Can I actually live and go to school and work and have a career now? Well, you had to think about that, right? You made a choice. And the choice ended up in pregnancy. So now you have a developing person inside of you. That person has every right to develop and to live. And at what stage is it considered homicide or murder is something that our legislators should have debated. And some legislators debated really well on the life issue, but they weren't influential and convincing because it passed, and now it's going to the governor's desk, and hopefully the governor has the courage to not sign. It is unconstitutional. The legislators are obliged to consider and weigh the life interest and state it in the bill, which it doesn't. It just states that we have the freedom to abort. They also have to weigh the property interest in the bill. Their children are the property of the parents. And that said, a mom cannot get pregnant without a man. A mom can get pregnant by science if she chooses to have help. However, most pregnancies don't happen by science. They happen by two people copulating. Did I say that right? So you gotta weigh the property interest of the person who contributed their sperm to the mother's reproductive system. And when the sperm and the egg collided, poof, they made a baby. And so he has a property interest as well. And because children are the property of parents, we have the fundamental right to decide to raise those children, or now to kill those children living inside of us before they even come out into this world. That's how we develop. We develop in our womb, in our mother's womb, And so this bill devalues our life. It devalues the person developing inside of our bodies. The gift from God, it's a blessing to be able to get pregnant. Men are not blessed to get pregnant. They have to adopt. So our legislators did not. They had another interest in mind, and they're worried about Roe being overturned. But Roe is an opinion. It is settled opinion by the justices, but it is not law. Congress people need to debate it, and they're very lazy when they don't, and they just say, "Oh, it's law, it's law." It is not. And not only that, but in 1973, the justice in dicta said, said some things. So it behooves our legislators to consider the interests and give each interest equal protection of the law. So the fetus has a right. It has a right to continue cooking in our bodies. And it is wrong to kill at 20 weeks. I was born at 24 weeks. And I survived. I'm 49 years old. Yes, I have good genes. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the abortion bill. It's unconstitutional. And what they did is they codified law. They codified homicide. I don't agree with that. They codified killing an innocent person who has no right or say in that decision. And as such, the people who sponsored it are going to carry the weight and the guilt of homicide, voluntary homicide. And the people who abort, like Planned Parenthood, they will carry the guilt of homicide. And the mom, you will carry the guilt of homicide. That is your sin. And it is a sin to kill and murder innocent people. That is my thoughts. And I'm sorry if it conflicts with your view. Signing off.